All right. Hello, everyone. It's Joyce Loy here, better known as the Dare to Glow Coach. I'm so excited today because we have a beautiful lady that joined us today. She's not just a lady, she's a coach, by the way, just like us. So we are super excited to have her here in the Mindset Shift CEOs. She's a CEO of her life. And for me, someone approving and accepting that they are CEO of their lives just gives me so much energy knowing that I'm not the only one who accepts I'm a CEO. I don't have an office, yeah, but I'm a CEO. So, better known as the Dare to Glow Coach. I'm super excited to be here. The other thing you all know about me, or those who don't know, I'm a confidence coach. So anything related to confidence, you want to improve, you want to boost your confidence, or you don't even have confidence at all, I'm the person to come to. So I have two beautiful ladies today. They're also going to introduce themselves, but I will start with our guest for today. Brenda Liz, please can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here today with all of you and talking about this wonderful topic. My name is Brenda Liz Acosta. I'm a mindset transformational coach. I help people overcome their own internal programming by becoming the best version of themselves. I want to help people become limitless. I want people to be able to feel they can be their authentic selves, right? I do this by leveraging the unconscious mind. I consider myself an unconscious mind expert, and I use different techniques like NLP, mental and emotional release, hypnosis within my practice, just to be able to help people transform their lives. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm a Puerto Rican. I live in the United States, but for the last 10 years, but I am a Caribbean. So I'm a warm weather girl trying to survive in the northeast coast of the United States.
Yeah, that explains your own personality.
Yes,
It's a pleasure having you, Brenda Liz. Let's
thank
have
you.
Coach Jay introduce herself.
All right, today I'm the last one. Hi, everybody. My name is Coach Jane Jogu. I am a transformation mindset coach. I'm all about the mindset. Everything that we do comes from here. I also leverage NLP like Brenda Liz. And I make sure that whenever we work together, I just remind you that you're unique. And as Coach Joy said, you are the CEO of your life. And once we master that, once we have that in our lives, we are able to make better decisions for ourselves. So I'll not speak much. I'm sure through my bio, people will see more about me, but I'll give it back to you, Coach Joy.
Thank you so much. So the one thing about NLP is people do not understand what it is. But when you work with any of us who know what NLP means, then you will get to know. So we'll not go too much details into it because I would also want to talk about it. But we don't have so much time as we have a very, very important topic today that we need to cover. So the topic for today is what is overthinking? I'm sure all of us watching right now, or even if you're watching the replay, you agree with me that you've gone through overthinking, or even right now you're going through overthinking over something that you have control or you don't even have control over. So we are going to cover what is overthinking, the type, the signs of overthinking, and the causes of overthinking. And I'll give my explanation on what I think overthinking is. In my simple words, is dwelling or worrying about the same thing repeatedly and repeatedly. Sometimes you have control over it, but sometimes you do not have control. It happens a lot. Personally, I also overthink, but because I went through the techniques of NLP, I got to learn how to control myself when I'm in the overthinking mode, or some things that I do that help me get out of it. And today we are going to share some of those things. But I would want to know what the guests think overthinking is to them, because we all have a different definition of what we think overthinking is. I'll start with our guest for today, Brenda Liz, Coach Brenda Liz.
So, a couple of things. One is I do think everybody overthinks in one way or another. And I see overthinking as a habit, as something that becomes part of you. And I also see overthinking as being more about thinking and less about action. So it's about letting your mind go in spirals and not necessarily moving forward to the right actions.
I like that. So when you overthink, I think it happens to me also. When I'm overthinking, I do less action. I'm just thinking. So I find myself not doing.
Mhm.
I like that. It reminds me of how I overthink. To you, Coach Jay, what do you think overthinking is in your own words?
Well, Brenda Liza said it all. I will just say simply overthinking is when I look at a cup, I start asking myself, why is this a cup? Why is it a cup? Why is it a cup? So I'm stuck in one point. I'm just thinking over and over and over about that point. And as Brenda Liza said, you're not taking any action. You're not, moving out of that box. Let me call it moving outside of that box. So you're stuck in that box thinking about the same thing. Why did I fail that exam? Why did I fail that exam? But you're not looking for the answers. You're just stuck in the why. So that's how we'll define overthinking.
Yeah. I think when you say stuck in one box, it reminds me of your chapter. Thinking beyond the box. If you think beyond the box, you never overthink because you're thinking beyond yourself. Thank you so much for that point. So, without wasting any time, we are going to go into signs of overthinking, and I'll go to Coach Brenda Lees to give us her first point on what she thinks are the signs of overthinking.
So I can think of three things that come into my mind in terms of sign. One is when you are constantly worried or over worried about something, that means you're overthinking. You're replaying over and over and over again that conversation you had with your boss, or you're playing over and over and over again the conversation you had with your family, or you're playing over and over again the scenario of what's going to happen in your life, right? That's one way to think about overthinking. Another way is when you fall in the trap of second guessing yourself. Um, should I do this? Oh, but what if? No, should I go this path? Oh, no, but what if? Oh, but I should dress this way, but I should speak this way. I should stand up this way. That's you're constantly overthinking what and second guessing yourself. And the third one I can think of, which is dearest to my heart, is sleeping issues. So if you're starting to have sleeping pattern issues and you find yourself with insomnia because your mind is overactive, then you're falling in the trap of overthinking. And it's funny enough because last night I had this happen to me. I was laying in bed. It was almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm actually thinking that I need to wake up by 6 o'clock in the morning. And my mind is so active because I have been working on some projects related to my coaching business. So I was very active mentally, and I go into my bed and I realize that I can't fall asleep. And then I start to think, oh, I'm not going to be rested tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to sleep enough. Then I'm going to be tired all day. Then I'm not going to be giving my best during the session tomorrow. And then I fall in that trap of my mind going in so many different directions. And at the end of the day, yeah, I found a way to manage it, but it's still an issue.
Yeah, but then I want to ask you, Brenda Lees, like when it comes to, for example, when you're excited, because for me it happens to me. When you get one of the signs, which is basically when you lose sleep, you're not able to sleep because your brain is racing. It happens to me when I'm excited. Like when I'm going to travel, my brain races. Like I don't even understand why. I fail to sleep and then I start finding things to do. And then the next day, maybe I take the flight and I'm exhausted because I could not rest. So does that also fall under overthinking or it falls under excitement? I don't know.
I personally think excitement could lead into overthinking. So if you're excited and then you fall in the pattern of, okay, what am I going to do when I'm going to get there? How do I have everything I need to be prepared for my trip? Did I pack everything I need to pack? If that's what's happening in your brain, that it's keeping you with that excitement, then yes, it could become overthinking. So excitement could lead into overthinking, but excitement not necessarily all the time is overthinking.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. What do you think, Coach Jay? Do you have anything to add on the signs of overthinking?
No, actually, what I wanted to say was, I think now I'm overthinking. Probably it can, probably probably it comes in when we are not able to make that decision. So we are stuck in that point just before the decision making. So we are overthinking that decision. And a good example I can give is social media. Before you post that picture, somebody always overthinks, will it be nice? Will it portray the information I want to do? And without realizing it, we are overthinking that. Is the picture looking nice? Are the filters okay? Is this okay? Is that okay? And that is just a form of simple overthinking. So I probably think that it could be lack of making that decision is what causes us to just fall in the trap of overthinking. And of
So
course,
just
sleeping.
to ask you something, Coach Jay, does that
Go
fall
ahead.
under the what if? What if I post it and people don't like it? What
Yes.
if people don't comment? What if?
Uh-huh.
What if? The
Uh-huh.
overthinking, does it, the what if, the what if?
Yeah. I would say a big yes. The what if, the what if, the what if. And I will bounce it back to you as a confidence coach. What do you think?
All right. So as a confidence coach, have confidence in yourself. Personally, when I'm posting, I think I
Mm-hmm.
used to have that kind of syndrome before even I became a
Mm-hmm.
confidence coach. And I started realizing I was doing people pleasing, because at the end of the day, it becomes
Mm-hmm.
people pleasing kind of thing where you're like, okay, I like this picture. I think I like how it looks. But what if I post it and people don't like it? When you start the what if language, it means you're not
Mm.
confident in how you look and you're not confident in yourself. So the
Yeah.
moment you put, that's why I brought the what if, because a lot of people who come for confidence issues, they have the what if language. What if I
Mm-hmm.
stand on the stage and everyone laughs at me? What if I stand on the stage and I start shivering? What if, but you've not yet gone, you've not done it, you've not done it yet. Why are you thinking of the what if?
That
Do it,
reminds
test
me.
the waters, test the waters, and then you know. So, in my simple language, as a confidence coach,
Mm-hmm.
I would say just have confidence in yourself. You want something, go for it. You want to do something, do it. Don't overthink of what other people think, because people do not care. People don't care. Hmm?
Mm.
Anyway,
That
so we are
that
going
that
to
does
go back to you,
remind.
Coach Jay.
Sorry,
Yes, Coach Jay?
it does remind me when we started my YouTube channel, and I kept on telling you, what if the video is not good? What if, and you're like, Coach Jay, just do it, just do it. And I could see you.
But at some point I was feeling bad. I was like, am I pushing her on the wall? But you know what? She is a coach. She is going
Hmm.
to have to do it one day. So it better be
Yeah.
now.
I think
Yeah.
social media is a hot topic because, eh, especially us, we develop content for people. We're constantly there. We have a presence.
Mm.
Mm.
We can easily fall in that trap of overthinking everything we do,
Mm.
and it goes back into self confidence, like you mentioned, but it also goes back into the concept of progress over perfection, and knowing that it's okay not to be perfect, and it's okay to move on. And you know what? I'll progress. So if I look at my Instagram profile and I look at my first post versus the latest one, of course, there's learning. People can see that I have
Mm.
through it, and I've become more savvy about which way to look at the camera. But if I don't expose myself to the experience, I will never
Mm.
learn how to do it. I will never know what's the best approach, and what works for maybe Coach Jocelyn and Coach Jane might not work for me, and vice versa. So we have to find, it's like by trial and error. We have to put ourselves out there. We have to realize that it's not about perfection, but the message that we're delivering.
That's very true. And if I ask you, Coach Brenda Lees, aren't you proud of yourself on how far you've come, social media wise, when you look at the
Absolutely.
progress?
Absolutely. I mean, I have achieved things that I never thought they were gonna happen. And I'm gonna brag here a little bit, but I had a post that actually has over 2 million views. Did I
Oh,
ever think my post was gonna have 2 million views? No, never in my life. Did I ever think that people were gonna follow me and were gonna be interested on the topics I was sharing with them? Never. Did I ever think that? Did I ever doubt myself? Of course I did. I doubted myself a lot. I have overcome it, and it's all about knowing how to be present in the now. And as you
Mm,
move and you're present in the now, it's easier to move past that overthinking and then realize the impact you have to other people.
Trusting the process.
Trust
yes.
the process, absolutely.
Yeah. And I like what you said, like, who knows? Like, you don't know until you try. Putting action. I liked your definition, really. Like, if you don't take a step, if you don't put action to whatever you want in life, and for me, I can never get enough of my chapter that I wrote in the book, that came out recently. Success is an action. It all starts
Yeah.
with action. They want me to take the first step. And for me,
Mm.
seeing you, Coach Jay, grow on your YouTube channel to now how many videos that you've made and you keep going, you took action, you know. I
Mm.
I may have pushed you, but you'd have chosen, like, what the hell is she telling me? Like, I don't want to be on the camera, like, but you took the step because you knew the
Mhm.
value of it. So sometimes I think when we overthink, we forget that we are the value, not the people that we want to
Yeah.
impress. So I don't know what you want. I do want to add anything, Coach Jay.
Actually, what I wanted to say was when Brenda Lee was talking, it made me think about validation. Sometimes we overthink because we are seeking validation from other people. So before you post that video, like Brenda Lee, if you never posted that video that you got 2 million views, you were waiting for validation from someone else, you'll never have achieved that. And that's a milestone, especially in the social media platform. So sometimes not seeking that validation and just going all in, it helps us a lot. And another thing that came in mind is competition. When we are competing with other people, we are overthinking. What is Coach Joy doing? What is Brenda Lee's doing? How did Brenda Lee's get that 2 million views? I want to be like Brenda Lee's. So, so by the time, so when I'm thinking about that, I am overthinking in the process. And this leads to me getting drained, 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 drained. So sometimes it's good just to flow as it goes.
And you know,
Over
when
to
you
you, Coach.
when you shared that, I want to talk about overthinking being like a self
Uh-huh.
protection mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we overthink because we are protecting ourselves. You know, you can, like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you don't want to be embarrassed, so
Yeah.
you think you're protecting yourself. Like, if I overthink about how I'm going to escape this if this happens,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's a self protection mechanism one way or another.
Mm.
For me, I feel that's one
Yeah.
of the cause. I don't know what you think on your causes of overthinking, Coach Jay. If you
So
could share
one
with
of the
us.
cause, yeah, one of the causes is stress. And I'm very passionate about stress. I personally define stress as that tenant, unknowing, and I underline unknowing tenant who is just destroying my house, causing chaos, disturbing the neighbors, but
Bless
they are
you.
not even paying rent on time. They are not, they're not doing what I want them to do. The house is a mess. That's how I describe stress. And stress, in other way to define it, is overthinking about something. And when you are stressed about a situation, it leads you to that overthinking. Why am I stressed about this cup? Why can't I take a step back and ask myself, is it in my control? Is it not in my control? And once I'm able to answer those two questions, if it's in my control, what actions? I go back to what we brought up earlier, actions. What actions am I going to take for me to solve this current situation? Why am I overthinking about the bills? What action am I going to take for me to pay the bill? If it's beyond my control, maybe I'm about to get fired or something's about to happen. Is it in my control? No. What can I do to make the situation better? Probably go and talk to the manager, make my case, and see, maybe, just maybe, they will change their mind and maybe keep me on. So when we constantly in stress, we are falling into the pattern of overthinking. The other thing is, the other cause of overthinking is demands of life. Mortality is real, and I always like reminding myself that. So why should I worry about mortality? Why am I wasting time right now thinking about death, life after death? Why am I worried about when will I die? There is moment, and I know in coaching minds you always remind ourselves to, have fun in the moment. How are you going to have fun, Coach Joy, when you're constantly thinking about death? How will you have that fun? Days will come in and pass and pass and pass. You're just overthinking about death and you cannot even control it. And one way you can deal with that is just be realistic with yourself, accept it. We are all going to, meet our mortality one day. So what can I do in the present moment? I can live proper life with my family, friends, do the things that I love. If you want to go for that zip lining, go and do it. If you want to travel, travel. Stop overthinking all these things, because one day all of us are going to make that. And then the final thing, Brenda Liz had mentioned it earlier, perfectionism. We want to be perfect. Like that video, Brenda Liz, I'll go back to that video for 2 million views. Probably, maybe you'll be, it's not yet ready. It's not yet ready. Maybe up to now, it will still be in your desktop or in your phone. You're still thinking, like, should I post it? Should I not post it? You're just striving to be perfect. And the question I'm going to pose is, who is perfect? Who is 100% perfect? If there's anybody to raise their hands up. And you see, the moment we realize that perfection isn't just in our minds, we go back to telling ourselves that I will go ahead and do it. If it doesn't work out, it's not a failure. It is a learning experience. It is something I'm going to learn from. And tomorrow I will become better. So how are you going to know that that video is going to do well? Because I am sure, I'm sorry, Brenda Liz, I'm going to use you.
No, but this is a great example. It is.
Live
Yeah.
example.
I recorded. I recorded. Whoever
So,
goes and sees the video, it's basically me
yeah.
in hypnosis. So they do a full
Mm-hmm.
catalyst. So
Uh-huh.
they basically put me between two chairs, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody recorded this, and the video was horrible. And when I looked at the video, I'm like, I'm not gonna post this because it wasn't great. But then, like, a voice inside said, you know what? What if you shorten the video and you put some music? Just
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had fun. It was a great moment for you, and it could be a great teaching moment for others. So I thought,
Mm-hmm.
my God, I follow my intuition, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun. It was fun, so yes, let me just put it there. No expectations whatsoever, and then my phone blows up, and I'm like, what's going on?
But exactly. So you see, if you were striving for perfectionism, you'll be like, oh, I need to go back there, shoot another video, just make it 100% perfect. And probably the 100% perfect video will have gotten like, less views than what you have now. And again, with this one that you have, the views, the 2 million views, it gave your foundation. It became a learning curve for you of what is doing well in the industry as a coach. And again, if it didn't do well, because we normally check our social platforms, I know it's the case of so many coaches and other industries, people who are in social media, we check what content is doing well. That's why there's the monthly review every month. What content is our audience resonating with? And that's where you learn. Because one video will go viral, another video you'll have like 2, 3 views. Does that demoralize you? It happens. Does that demoralize you? You're supposed to learn from that. So you're like, okay, such video it's not yet ready for the market. And I'll use the word yet, because its time is going to come. It's not now, but it's time, it's going to come. I know Coach Joyce Law, Coach Brenda Liz, you posted something like months ago, it didn't do well. And then we wake up one morning, you're like, oh my God, this is from, how many months ago?
Is
Because the
someone talking
time,
about me? Is someone talking about me?
exactly.
Where am
Because
I trending? Where am I trending?
because the time for it has come now.
Yeah.
That time it was not the time yet. So when we are striving for perfectionism, we are limiting ourselves from greatness. We are pushing ourselves into that box. I'll go back to, being in that box that we are scared of stepping out, taking actions, as just as said before, taking actions and making ourselves, vulnerable. Because as you said before, it's like a defense mechanism you're having. So we are trying to protect ourselves. Who are you trying to protect yourself from? What is good? What is the worst that will happen? That is a question I can pose now. What is the worst that will happen when you post that video, when you pitch yourself out there, when you decide to transform, when you decide to become a better person and stop, mingling with a certain group of people? What is the worst that will happen? It's all about loving yourself and taking care of yourself and, protecting your mind. Over to you, Coach Joy.
So there's one thing I wanted to ask you, Coach Jay, is
Go ahead.
what about if you just fall on bed, like, or not on purpose? You just lay down on bed, you're not thinking about anything,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow your brain just simply does not shut. Because when your
Mm-hmm.
brain shuts, your eyes shut, you sleep. But it
Yeah.
failed. You're just there lying, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're somewhere, but you don't even know where you are. So that is
Mm-hmm.
like overthinking, also, right? So what causes that?
I will say is having unresolved things in your mind. That's how I would call it, because there is something that is running in your mind. And remember, we all did NLP. We are told we have three brains. We have the head, we
Yeah.
have the gut, and we have, So there's something that is unresolved. Maybe you cannot put a pin on it, but there's a way you can put a pin of it. If you find yourself in such a situation, what I will do is meditate, try and find what is going on, have that meeting with yourself, Jen, what's going on? You're supposed to be sleeping, this is supposed to be happening. What is it that you're missing? Which dot are you missing? And believe you me, when you're having those honest conversations with yourself, it always comes, it's the first thing that comes. You sit there like, oh, how did I miss this? And the next time you just fall on that bed, you're dead asleep. It's in the morning or it's the afternoon if you're taking a nap.
What about using the mirror? You know the mirror where you look at yourself in
Yeah.
the mirror, you're like, hey, Coach Jay, what's up? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it work?
Actually, the mirror technique, I think, is one of the best I ever used when I started out as a coach myself, because of, let me use the perfect word, because of confidence doing videos, which is what we were fighting about when we were starting out. So I
Mhm.
had to sit in front of a mirror and, have that conversation with myself. And it's something I'm doing up to now, because when I'm about to do any presentation, I sometimes go in front of the mirror and talk to myself, see myself talk. It's like I'm pitching to myself, And then I ask myself, will you be happy with that if you're the audience? I'm like, oh, yeah, you're ready to go. That gives me that boost. It gives me that energy. So mirror talking helps. And for anyone who is watching, if you're about to go for an interview, if you're about to go for a high profile discussion, start with the mirror. Talk to yourself. And that is going to help you build that confidence. That will help you, you'll find a gap that maybe you are missing. It will give you that missing link and you'll go in there, you'll ace it. I promise you that.
Yeah. So the reason I say that is because for me, a mirror technique is part of me. It's I
Mm-hmm.
use it even right now, even now. Yes, I'm a confidence coach, but I use it. I use it when I'm talking to myself, because I
Mm-hmm.
need to have honest conversations with myself on things that are going on. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people will judge, because people always judge anyway. So I talk to myself. I'm like, so what would you do better here? Okay, what would
Uh-huh.
I have done better? Like, it's like we are four people. We are two people, but it's like we are four having a conversation. Kind of some madness, but it works for me. So I wanted to go back to Coach Brenda Dees and ask her a question. So what about in situations where it's finance, like there's I have a financial problem, I have a
Mm-hmm.
healthy issue, and I have to overthink it because I don't know what to do. Like, I find myself overthinking, like, where am I going to get the money? Where am I going to get the money to pay for this, for rent, for what? Like, in such situations, as a transformational coach, what would you advise someone who is going through such a situation?
So I think the first step is to recognize that it's okay to have the emotions, and it's okay
Mm,
to have those thoughts, and acknowledge them. I think acknowledging the thought is really important. I do
mhm,
I There's different techniques I currently use on myself
yeah.
to help me move out of the overthinking. For example, meditation, and Coach Jane, you mentioned this. Meditation is important, and actually I meditate every night before going to bed. So yes, last night I was overthinking, and then I just put my meditation on, and I went, and that helped me be able to go into my deep sleep. So meditation, it's really important. I
Mm,
think challenges in life are going to be constant. They're going to happen. And you recognizing that it's a challenge, and what
mm,
you have control versus what you don't have control is also important. And if you do have control over certain things, make sure you know what is the things that you have control and you can take action, and what are the things that you have no control. Now, for those things that you don't have control, which is where we usually fall into the overthinking, I would also recommend using your senses. So, for example,
mm,
a quick way for you to ground yourself and be able to get out of that overthinking state is if you could focus on your different senses. So, a quick technique I learned recently is if I take my two fingers of one hand together and I rub them and I focus on the sensation I'm feeling in my hand, and then I extend that sensation to my both hands together and I rub them together, and then I kind of reshift the focus then maybe on my breathing and feel how I'm breathing. I'm actually breaking the pattern of overthinking. And you can do this as easily as a 2-minute practice a couple of times through the day. You realize you're overthinking, then you just reshift your focus to
mhm,
you basically are retraining your brain to reshift your focus. So yes, meditation, using your senses, which is a way of meditating too, but short term, and it's easier for some people to use. And then I would say be aware of the words you're using, and if you can reframe some of those words and find a more comfortable way that doesn't pull you into an emotional roller coaster, then find what are the right words you can use
mm,
so you're not on that roller coaster.
Yeah, so I would like to add on the shifting. Does that work like the anchoring, where you find your anchor? Like, if you get into an overthinking mode, you have your anchor that you use. Could be
Absolutely.
that, or it could be this, and then take it down onto. Because I also love doing meditation. Actually, it's one of for me, I think it's one of the medicine for overthinking. You just meditate and just go into a different space, and it works for me. But of course, people will have their own opinion on what other ways
mm,
someone can control overthinking, and they can also share them. A replay, or even right now, I see we have a viewer right now, so you can always share with us what you think could help in overthinking. But we'll have a topic to cover very soon on how to overcome overthinking. But back to
mm,
you, Coach Jay. What is your opinion on what you think someone can control or can't control? Because I liked what Brenda Lee shared.
mhm,
Sometimes we want to control things we don't have control over. Like Coach Joy shared about the whole death thing. You're there thinking about death. Oh, when I die, what
mm,
will happen? Who will come for my burial? Or will people be
mhm.
happy? Like, why would you think of death when you have a life to live? You know, like,
Yeah.
why? So I don't know what's your opinion on people who overthink about finances and things they can't control over.
What I will say is, if it's something that is beyond you, the best way to deal with it is ask yourself the most difficult question: what can I do about it? And be very honest with yourself. Do you need to ask for help? Go ahead and ask for help. Become vulnerable at that time, because because this will lead you to that stressful situation. So you have to find what works best for you. And this will go to when we are covering about how to deal with overthinking, identifying that having that awareness of what causes you to overthink will help you not land into that situation of overthinking. Because if you realize that paying rent is what is causing you to overthink all the time, then you'll have to find a solution to deal with that. Do you need to move to a cheaper house? Do you need to share the rent with someone? Do you need to talk to someone to assist you in XYZ? Because even if you get help in the first 2-3 months, what will happen in the next months? You have to pay that rent. So you have to become resourceful. You'll have to have that honest conversation with yourself. And because when you are authentic with yourself, and I'm happy you are doing the value challenge, my value for A is authentic. When you are authentic with yourself, believe you me, you will start doing the best decisions for you. You will love yourself more, that you don't want to fall into this overthinking. Last week we covered about procrastination. So you will take the necessary actions for you not to land into that pattern. Yes, there are things that are beyond us, but we have to become realistic with ourselves. Why am I overthinking about that bill? I knew when I got that house of $10,000 or whatever amount that I have to pay the rent. So why am I allowing it to reach to this stage? So when we become realistic with ourselves, it helps us not to fall into this pattern of overthinking. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I would say, and I'll be honest, because myself, I go into the overthinking mode, but I like the honest questions. The hard
Mm.
questions that we don't like to ask ourselves. Why am I in this situation? What
Uh-huh.
can I do about this situation? How can I get out of this situation, other than just
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it and stressing other people? Because I
Mm-hmm.
notice when we get stressed, we stress others, because now you think people are not even caring about you. They have to know what you're going through even without you telling them. You see, you start getting anger issues, anxiety leading you to depression.
Mm-hmm.
So to avoid all these things, do simple things like Coach Bernadette shared with us.
Mm-hmm.
Meditate, do the anchor, try to reshift your overthinking into something else. And
Mm-hmm.
what Coach J just shared, even right now, is more helpful also. Ask yourself the hard questions, and you could share more and more. You'll be watching the replay. So, anyone watching the replay, you can share with us ways we can control overthinking. Otherwise, I would like to hear last words from Coach Bernalise on before we close.
I think if I could like share something additional would be that when you're overthinking, it drives emotions that are not necessarily good on your body,
Mm-hmm.
and that has a direct impact into your body. Realizing that you're overthinking and shifting from overthinking to problem solving, then you're shifting to taking action. So
Mm-hmm.
as you are realizing and being aware that you're overthinking, if you can just realize that I'm not taking action at this point, how do I convert this into an action taking and move to the role of problem solving? So the questions that coach said, like, why am I focusing on this? Like, why is this important for me? What do I have control over? What can I do? What can I not do?
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to shift from the perspective of being an overthinker, or acting as an overthinker, and then shifting into, now I'm acting as a problem solver.
Very good. I like that. Solving, other than thinking of being
Yes.
like thinking of the problem, you think of the solution, because there is always
Mm-hmm.
a solution for everything. To you,
True.
Coach Jay, give us your last words before we close.
Well, I think Brenda Lisa summarized it, and something has come in my mind about the words we use. I must, I have to, I should. Those are words that land us again into overthinking. What I can say to anyone who's watching us, or people who are going to be watching the replay: one, accept to be vulnerable, accept to ask for help, love yourself more. If you realize the pattern, go and talk to someone you're closest to, someone you're comfortable with. Look for a coach, a mentor, someone who can walk you through that, because our mind is very important. And in NLP or neuro linguistic programming, there is a presupposition that says mind and body, they're part of the same system. So the moment you let your mind fall into overthinking pattern, you're affecting the body, because I am sure when you are overthinking, you had a gym appointment, you will not go there. You had a coffee date with someone, you will cancel it. You had a dinner date with your spouse, you will cancel it. You'll be in a bad mood. How will the house be that night? So remember to take care of both, balance the two, and you'll start glowing, as Coach Joy will say. Over to you.
Yes. Yes, as I would say, dare yourself to glow. And you cannot glow if you overthink. Because do you have control over overthinking? Yes, you have control.
Yeah.
How? By doing simple things. Meditate. Take care of yourself first, you know. Sometimes we fall into wanting to take care of others. Take care of yourself first, then take care of others. And I
Love
would not even
yourself.
repeat what Coach just said and what Coach Brenda Lees have shared. I would like to say thank you so much for watching, and it was lovely having you, Coach Brenda Lees, and sharing your insights. So much
Thank you.
knowledge. We can't wait to have you again.
Coach Joy, before we close, maybe Brenda Liz will tell our viewers where they can find her if anyone wants to
Yes.
connect with her.
Okay, so if you want to find me, you can find me at BU with Brenda Liz in Instagram. I also have presence in Facebook as BU with Brenda Liz. And right there, you'll have everything you need to reach out to me.
Awesome. So also be sharing Coach Brenda Lee's details down on our YouTube channels, my YouTube channel and Coach J. And I don't know, Brenda Lee's, you have a YouTube channel?
I don't yet. That's in the works. It's coming. It's coming soon.
Yeah,
One
it
step at a
better,
time.
it better, Coach, it better. You want accountable partner? I'm here.
Don't
We are
overthink on
here.
the
We
launching.
are here. We can be accountable partners. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. Otherwise, if you haven't joined the Mindset Shift CEO group, better join now so that you are able to learn a lot about your mindset. And remember, your mindset is your superpower, because what the mind thinks, it
The
gives.
body, yeah.
Other than that, I would like to say thank you so much. If you're watching the replay, leave us a comment on your opinion about overthinking. Otherwise, stay
always
safe and
remember,
stay blessed.
everything always works out. Everything always works out.
Yes.
All right,
Remember
you
the
had
word
Brenda Lee.
yet.
Yes.
Yeah. Always remember that, as Brenda Lisa said, yet. Maybe it's not yet the time for that thing, but it's time, it's going to come. So keep moving forward, keep going, don't stop, don't look, just keep going. And that time will
And keep
come.
daring yourself. Keep daring yourself to grow. All right. Bye bye.
Right.